Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. I hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have a new tease for the potential possible future of a galaxy far, far away into the regards of actor Ahmed making his return as the fan favorite Jedi Master KELLERAN BEQ as seen in The Mandalorian Season 3. Of course, we're going to break it all down for you guys, everything that we know and everything that we're anticipating right now. Before we do though, however, grab the subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab the subscribe button today. Okay, so in this video we are going to be taking a quick read from one of my favorites out there, StarWarsNewsStuff.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. Ahmed has been doing some recent interviews lately around May 4th, Star Wars Day earlier this month, and as well as the Phantom Menace's 25th anniversary, having that re-released into plenty of theaters out there, and has also an official announcement of his desire to a Star Wars action film in this quote-unquote John Wick style as his Jedi character KELLERAN BEQ. And I think that that is totally doable, and something that we even got a bit of a tease and sneak peek at when we did see his character really completely get fleshed out in universe, in canon, a part of The Mandalorian Season 3. Because the character of KELLERAN BEQ isn't just in The Mandalorian Season 3, he's also in this other kind of YouTube special thing that Star Wars has on their YouTube channel, something along the lines of Jedi Master Trainer or something like that, pretty much. It's like Wipeout, but Star Wars themed. Of course, if you know the exact name of it, let me know in the comments down below. It's just slipping my mind. Anyway, in a recent interview with comicbook.com, he actually went on to explain that the action and the martial arts that we saw on display from KELLERAN BEQ, specifically in The Mandalorian Season 3, was really about 0.01% of what he's actually capable of actually doing. He says that there, in quote, "I keep putting this out there. I want to do a Jedi John Wick as KELLERAN BEQ, and I don't even need to say any words. I just want to do 2 hours of lightsabers and people in the way. I really want to do something like that because the fight that I did for The Mandalorian is just a tenth of 1% of what I can really do, and there's just so much more." I need that quote right there. Speaking, I think, in both ways of what he's physically capable of doing as an actor, and then also into the relation of the character it's himself as well as KELLERAN BEQ, I think is something that's a big potential to really see. I also think it's a bit funny of how he says nobody even has to say anything. There doesn't necessarily have to be a plot or anything like that. It's just me running around with a lightsaber for 2.5 hours, just whacking people with a lightsaber pretty much and using the Force, and I would totally buy tickets for that. Ahmed also makes a not just good, but a great point that there aren't too many other varieties of martial arts styles in a galaxy far, far away, a part of Star Wars films specifically, as most Jedi are based on Japanese samurai and don't tend to deviate too far from that wheelhouse. Whereas KELLERAN BEQ uses the Filipino martial arts more specifically. He talks more about that there in quote, "I was just talking about this. The style that influences KELLERAN BEQ's character is from Filipino martial arts. Nobody really knows very much how deep those arts, well, really are. Most of the Jedi are Japanese samurai influence, but the Filipinos beat the samurai and they beat the Spanish as well, historically. The way that they move, the style that they move, and the weapons that they all use are revolutionary. It's so much more and that they are able to do of what Bruce Lee does and Jeet Kune do is influenced by Filipino martial arts as well. So I really want that to be the highlighted through some kind of Jedi-centered specific story of KELLERAN BEQ." Ending that quote right there. Comicbook.com also mentions that they got to speak to Ahmed at Popup Con in California earlier before, an event that Ahmed actually started himself before the pandemic and takes on the host a lot of. Ahmed reveals more of that there in quote with comicbook.com. "I always wanted to do something primarily to look at small niche businesses. When it came to entertainment stuff, I grew up in comic book stores all my life. I grew up in toy stores all my life, and I always loved the cultures that they were around it. Every time I would go to a comic book store when I was a kid, it'd be all the same people. You'd have all of these people who are so passionate, not just about what the store was and, being a comic book store, but the store itself, really. It's something that I always really loved. And when the big box stores started to come in, that kind of feeling began to disappear more and more. The big conventions are cool, but sometimes it gets a little bit much. Sometimes it's very difficult to have that stamina to do all of them, and sometimes it gets kind of transactional as well, more transactional than I like. I kind of like the fact that you'd be able to get to talk to people. I like the fact that you get to know people and you get to do a little bit of that time. So I was like, well, what if there was a con that would be just kind of a pop-up one in these very niche mom and pop stores, essentially, especially things like comic book stores or video game stores or even Lego stores and toy stores. And it would be the people affiliated with the store really itself at heart. But you can also, of course, will spend a little bit of cash, more time, and with people coming through and in and out. And that's when Pop-Up Con kind of came from. He talks a little bit more about that, ending that quote right there. I think that that's relevant and that I want to talk about that there as well. Not only is it just kind of like another tidbit for, Kelleran Beq's actor, Ahmed Best, also Jar Jar Binks' actor there as well, the very talented Ahmed Best. He's so much more than just an actor, I think, is what it really is. It kind of brings in this other just idea that he's so much more capable of than just, well, maybe acting. And that almost in that sort, it kind of reminds me of Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, a musician, an actor, a writer, a director. And I think that Ahmed Best has that capability of being a jack of all trades, essentially. So not just having him, well, act and return as Kelleran Beq in a Kelleran Beq kind of centered style, but what if he actually was the one to write it and direct it and produce it? I think is something that would make it 10 times even better. Not just that of an idea, but all at the same time, it's just great. It's a warm, fuzzy feeling to see Ahmed Best get a little bit more involved in Star Wars again, with the community again, within the franchise again here, since his return to the franchise with The Mandalorian Season 3, taking on this character of Kelleran Beq, especially after how he was treated and the fan reception of his character specifically, of him specifically as an actor of Jar Jar Binks in The Phantom Menace, in the prequels, in the early 2000s there as well. Unfortunately, very much so, like every other prequel actor, he took a step away from not just A Galaxy Far, Far Away, but really from acting as a whole, and just didn't really want anything to do with it. So to see not just Ahmed Best make a return here, having Ewan McGregor, having Hayden Christensen, I think is a big one. Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan Kenobi there as well, is really at heart what it's all about. And I think that there is what Ahmed Best is really trying to get out there at that final end quote there. Anyway, guys, let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Would you like to see Ahmed Best back as Kelleran Beq in some type of John Wick-styled film in A Galaxy Far, Far Away? What would it really entail? Let me know what you guys all think in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.